Hey, it's Trenton here from Hands Like Houses, hanging out in Toronto, and you are watching AMBY.
Hey everyone, it's Alicia from AMBY, and I would like to welcome you to our interview with Trenton from Hands Like Houses. Hello.
G'day.
How are you doing?
Doing well, thank you. Enjoying the Toronto weather. I'm told it's warm today.
It is.
That's bullshit.
Usually you'd be standing in about 2 feet of snow right now, so we're taking it all in.
Not ice and snow, hell no.
I want to say welcome back to Toronto.
It's good to be back, hell yeah.
How's this North American tour been treating you so far?
It's been amazing, actually. It's been a really fun tour. Just had a few sold-out shows through the Northeast just the last couple of days, and tonight's another one, which is sweet. Nice to get out of the US for a little bit and away from the old Cheeto King, but we won't talk about politics.
I remember watching an older video, an interview, and the boys were pretty much saying how to pass time on the road, they'd play some Hacky Sack.
Oh, yeah.
At that time, this high score was 100. Your highest score. Have you beat that so far?
I don't think so. We kind of progressed from like playing in-venue Hacky Sack. We started playing a sport, invented a sport called hacky-ball, which is basically volleyball with Hacky Sack.
Okay.
And so we played a lot of that in the studio while we were recording Dissonance, which is maybe why it took so long. But no, we it developed, 2-on-2 game. Had the net about the A-high and
you still play with like the tiny Hacky Sack ball?
Yeah, just the little ones,
okay.
that big. Just basically just kind of kicking it back and forth. You can pass it to your teammate, and we had like a scoring system, and it was all pretty well, but had good fun with that. So, but as far as topping our score, we haven't really kind of gone for the high score again. I think that was kind of just getting a feel for it, and then we took the sport and it got serious.
You took it to an extreme other level. You really
and then we got lazy, and we haven't played it in a while.
Well, I know those long van rides from city to city can be pretty boring at times. So how do you keep yourselves occupied? I
sleep. Absolute party animal. We just kind of listen to music, we chat, we sit on our phones probably more than anything else. Just, I don't know, it's just kind of, you kill the time. And we do have a TV and like Xbox set up in there, but the Xbox disk drive doesn't work, so we haven't really kind of touched it much. But
who are some of the bands you've been spinning?
Great call. We've been actually just putting on a lot of just random kind of rock stations local to wherever we are, which is kind of cool because we just get to listen to a bunch of classic rock and stuff like that. But I don't know, it depends who's driving. We all have kind of our different playlists and all different stuff. I think we've been listening to a bit of Young Guns and Lower Than Atlantis because we're going out to the UK with them in a couple of months, which will be sweet. What else? I don't know, there's not really anything that's been consistent, just a whole lot of music.
You had mentioned Dissonance before, your latest record release. Now that's been out for a few months, what are your thoughts on the album now that's been able to kind of breathe a little bit? Yeah, it's been awesome. I mean, we're starting to see, albums these days, especially with the internet, with so much being thrown at you at any given moment, you do really need time for albums to settle in and kind of see kind of where it's picking up and where audiences are listening to it, because you've always got your diehard fans who will buy it day one, and that's always really encouraging, but it's when, 6-8 months down the track when it's kind of died off and people are sharing it more organically, I think that's when you start to really see where it's connecting. And for us, that's been kind of that radio rock world, so kind of the, rock on the range type festival world, like, you know what I mean, like that active rock world. We've been finding, especially on this tour as well, like our demographic as far as people coming out to shows has changed up a bit. Like we've still got all our, fans that we picked up from other tours, but we're finding a lot more fresh faces or different types
just kind of older, a little bit older, like just like, rock radio fans, which has been really cool for us because it means that we're, we've never wanted to leave behind where we've been, but we always want to be taking putting our best foot forward. And we're growing into a different audience, and especially with music being so hyper competitive at the moment, just having that, that extra, world of people that are getting into our stuff and not just getting into it but loving it. It's really encouraging for us. Like we actually passed a truck driver the other day who saw the spray painted little logo we have on our trailer, and he had a sign up on the thing saying like, Octane, and then he was just like, out the window, and just seemed to know the band. That was a cool little affirmation of that bubble for us. But it's been cool. It's been really cool just kind of seeing how it's all connecting, people singing the songs back to us, different songs doing better in some shows than others, which is strange to see which songs resonate in which area for no apparent reason, but
Well, there are some really neat features on the record, like Caleb from Beartooth, Lynn from Paris is also on there. 2 bands that we've had on this site I had the pleasure of interviewing.
Yeah.
Were you pretty much just choosing from friends when it came to putting people on the record?
A little bit. I mean, they weren't on the record per se, other than just that they helped collaborate with us in the studio and kind of help write and shape the songs. And I mean, for some of it's more obvious, some of the parts it's not so much. But it's just cool to kind of get different writing dynamics. Like Caleb's, very much an instrumentalist, like loves just really getting in and getting like a dirty riff together. And, we had a few ideas that he helped really kind of take from being like okay, that could be cool, to like oh, hell yeah, this is pumping. And on the other end of the scale, like, working with Blake and Lynn from Paris was, like Lynn's just a bundle of energy, and it's complete opposite creative process for me. I'm very much kind of, lock into my own thing and, zone in on it, get every little piece right as I'm working on it. Whereas she's just like throwing out idea, and I couldn't keep up. So, but at the end of the day, everything she did contribute did kind of, I did absorb it. And then as we were finishing the song over the, the weeks afterwards, it was just kind of like, oh, that's right, Lynn suggested that. Yeah, that could work. And then I'm going to bring this in here, and it, really affected the process. So it was cool just kind of, collaborating with people that we've toured with, but also bands that, we look up to as, bands that are absolutely killing it in their own music little worlds, and big worlds, I should say. Their own music worlds, just absolutely killing it. And so it's just cool to have that fresh perspective.
There's a song on the record called Perspectives that lyrically really hits home with me, because I feel like the perspective of the song could be about love, honesty, sometimes betrayal. So for you, how did Perspective come about?
To be honest, I think the original seed of the song was just from kind of like my frustrations of trying to put an idea out there without people kind of getting like the wrong idea and misinterpreting me, because I've certainly got my own social issues. I'm not the most comfortable person with people, and that was kind of where it started. But I've always tried to write somewhat ambiguously, not because I don't want people to know what I'm singing about, but just because I want people to take their own meanings and their own, already you've
said. And it's
said,
more relatable that way.
Yeah, exactly. And that, it's creating that point of connection that people can kind of overlay their own experiences, their own emotional weight, their own their own life story into those words, and it becomes so much more meaningful than anything I could write as a reflection of myself. So it's kind of, that song in a lot of ways kind of encapsulates that. It's about putting something out there and hoping that at least it'll be kind of understood and grappled with, rather than necessarily being said, oh yeah, that's what it is. I think that works.
It does work.
Yeah.
It makes sense to me.
That's the song right there. Just like, I think I said what I was trying to say, but hopefully someone's understood what I'm saying. Hopefully.
Leave a comment. Let us know if you agree, if you understand. I trying to do a little quick fire round with you, so just say whatever comes to mind.
All right.
Who would your dream jam session be with?
Cool. I'd love to do some stuff with Dave Grohl. Would be a really fun person to just kind of sit down and work something with. I just like that he's just got that kind of rock and roll attitude through and through, and obviously been in some of the biggest bands in the world, 2 of them, let alone just one. So I know, I feel like he'd be a really cool person to kind of co-produce and write with. Rick Rubin's another one, would be really cool, just a legendary rock producer. That, or even just like Mike Shinoda and Chester from Linkin Park would be really cool as well, because I grew up listening to that, and even just watching all their LP Underground videos and stuff they've done on how they produce music, how they make their beats, and just all the effect, the effects and the instrumentation that they use to create such unique and distinct sounds. Is really fascinating for me, so they'd be really cool to kind of work with, more so on a music side than a vocal side, which is cool.
And which toppings must go on your pizza?
Ooh. I'm a big fan of having like either baby spinach or, wait, do you call it rocket or arugula here? Arugula. You guys have dumb names for stuff. But yeah, basically that with like Kalamata black olives. Can I add feta as well? Feta cheese?
You're allowed to add.
You're
allowed to add that.
Those 3 on
That's
pizza?
it though, nothing more.
Yeah, I could do with that still.
Where would you love to perform and take the band that you've yet to?
We've been pretty lucky to play most places we want to. I mean, Japan is probably the biggest one that we haven't done yet, that I think we have the most potential to play. But I know South America's on there as well, Latin America. Yeah, but I think Japan would be up there for sure.
What's the worst job you had growing up?
I've done a bunch of bits and pieces. Probably just, my first job I worked at like a chicken place, just, constantly had to like shower 3 times to just get all the grease out of me, and being a teenager, that's not very kind to you regardless. So I kind of had I worked with cool people though, so I don't think I've really had a genuinely bad job, but yeah, everyone has had its challenges.
And for the last one, which curse word do you use the most?
Which one, sorry?
Curse word.
Probably shit, just because I'm not really careful with it. The other ones I'm usually just careful with, depending on the company and when it's appropriate for the situation, without just being that guy.
That guy.
Yeah. Shit's just a word. So yeah, I'd probably say that just because I don't think about it.
And just to wrap everything up, is there anything you want to leave with all of your fans who will be viewing the interview?
Hell yeah. Well, thanks for hanging out. It's a sold-out show in Toronto tonight, which is going to be wild, and hopefully see you next time we are around.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Of course. Thanks, Alicia.
It's my pleasure. And remember, to everybody viewing, you can visit us at musicblogger.com for all exclusive interviews, features, videos, and so much more with your favorite bands.
Oh, yeah.
See you next time.
Cheers.